Welcome to Framework Fortune, and welcome back, all you amazing individuals in the Framework Fortune community. I'm your host, Ben. It's time for some live day trading and technical analysis. A lot is going on, as it has been, but seems like things are getting crazier by the day. So we're going to be talking about all that today, as well as possibly looking for a trade. But let me go ahead and start rolling through here, see what we got on the list. I still am holding HYMC. Main reason, gold pushing up to that 2,000 area. I've been calling for this breakout. Look at the beautiful, beautiful channel on gold where it's just climbing up. About to test 2,000 again, probably today. Inflation numbers came out yesterday. Inflation is higher. Surprise, surprise. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop through here and check out this list. SST, that one's kind of curling over. May take that off. Veru actually looking pretty decent for a possible pop if it can break over 1230. Let's take SST off for now. BWV play still dropping. Hussa not doing much. INDO down to 15. Where's oil at? Oil's at 102, so I definitely want to keep INDO on watch. Honfels from yesterday as garbage. LIXT garbage. And that was going to be garbage before I even looked at it. Same with TRB. WBD. This is that. No, I don't like those shares. Screw that thing. Alright, little flow. We got CTRD up 40% below all moving averages. BFRI has FDA approval, is over all moving averages, so we'll put that on the watch list. That could be a play. Pretty low float. HNRG, no reason to move. Looks like it's kind of slowed down. Oh, it's an energy play, that's why. We'll keep a look at eye on it. PHIO. Nothing there. SFBM, still nothing there. ATRS, that had a big spike up. Oh, there's a buy from another company, bought them up. It looks like Veru with a possible U-shape here. Break at $12. I think I already said that. ATER, nothing there, nothing there. All these things, all the ones that are nothing, that I'm saying nothing there to, are all below the 200. Top 10% gainers. SRRA. I think we looked at. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh yeah, that's in that acquiry. CRNX. 125 million private offering. I don't really like the range on this daily chart. Ignore that one. That scanner's not working. Low float metal stocks. You can see we've got tons of metal stocks in the green. I did post my list of metal stocks to be keeping an eye on in the Discord. Oh, HPK, that's an oil stock up 27%. So, NAT, that's a tanker. UEC's uranium. UEC's looking really good. Just hit a high year today. Alto's another energy. So because of this inflation, we're seeing a lot of energy plays moving, but I'm more focused on gold and precious metals. There's really not too much else going on that I'm seeing anyway. That is quite the U shape. Yeah, it's just got to break 12. Okay. We go into a 15-minute here. If I can hold 11 as support, I may look for an entry. Or if it comes back down to 10, there's plenty of support at 10. BFR, man, that gap, that halt, okay. Alright, I'm a little interested in this. Jumping in here, this thing's starting to try to push for 5 again. Looks like it had a huge gap up. Does have this FDA approval. Very low float. That was a gap out of a halt. So if that thing can move like that, I mean, that was a $3-4 move. If it re-breaks 5 here, we should start to move again on this FDA approval news. See, I got in at 482. Bottom of this candle is 454. So about 30 cents. I'm risking on 30 shares. That's 10 bucks. I'll take that risk. That's easy. Easy risk. Do have this flat top at 550, so we also got to break 550. Yeah, you can see previously first day, second day on this chart, $5 is definitely strong resistance, natural resistance line, and past chart history resistance line. Starting on 490 on the bid. Let's see if we get a test of 5 here. Oh, yes we are, right away. Ooh, we had a bid up over 5 that quick. Bid starting to stack. Let's see if they can keep stacking. Come on, 5s. Let's see these buyers take control of this. Push this up. 5s are back on the ass. So still got to peck away at 5. There we go. Bid starting to stack again. There we go. Stacking, stacking, stacking. Keep stacking and hold that 5. Nope. Not yet. Boy, it's really trying though. Nope, more stacking. There we go. There we go. Let's go. Come on, baby. Let me see another one of these giant halts. That's what I want to get. That's what I'm in here for, looking for another one of these nonsense moves. The 510. The 515 got some selling at 515. Now, it may not do this, so don't expect it to do this. This is a crazy move, but just the fact that it did means it could do it again. So we just need to see $5 hold as support here. You can see we're starting to test that again. Buyers stacking very fast that time on $5. Very strong stack. Austin Sowers, you had a nice trade on a WBD. Nice job, man. You've been killing it, bud. Still got 5 holding. We got 4 minutes on this 15-minute candle. we got to get through 550 as well. 550. And then break a 6. This thing could get crazy, so... I can't, there's no reason to even look at the 1 hour. It's just been going straight up. There we go. So you can see that selling pressure at 5 weakened, 5 holding pretty strong, and now we got bids trying to stack over 510. There we go. Nice. Hit testing at 515. Pecking. Come on, let's see it break. Don't get held up at 515. That's a nonsense line. That shouldn't be that strong resistance. And here we go, right through 515. Bam. Beautiful. All right, now 525 going to be next resistance. Come on. No, it wants to try to hold 515 as support first. So far, even though we pushed up, we still got to get and start holding 515 on the bids. 510 stacking pretty well. Oh, no, taking out again. Not a lot of those sellers were taken out on that first hit. And there we go, starting to stack back up. Above 515, up to 520, up to 522. Let's see that 525. Come on. Oh, here we go. It's starting to stack over 520. There they go. Starting to stack. We're going to have this right through 525. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's see if we keep moving here on up to 550. Still fighting with 525 a little bit, but 525 stacking the bids. Oh, they got taken out again. Let's see if they can stack again. And there we go. There we go. Bid stacking. Over 530. All right, let's go. Let's see this 550. I want to see us blow right through 550 and 6. We're fighting. Still fighting with the 525, 530 area. There we go. A lot of bids stacked 525 that time. Selling at 533. That's a weird area for there to be a lot of selling at. 533, why? Yeah, we got right up to 537. Look at the 5 minute. Trying to figure out why we're holding up to 537 right through here. This is what it is. this resistance, this congestion back here on Friday. That's what we're running into in that 530 area. Top of that is 584. Yeah, so break of 550 and 6 is what we are looking for. Although on this 5 minute, we're starting a downtrend a little bit possibly. Let me go back into the 15 minute. We got 4 minutes on that candle. Top of that, yeah, 540 is the top of the trend line. You're short Twitter? I don't blame you there. 100 shares. Yeah, Subway money. Good morning, DB. Good morning, One Life. I don't mind you shorting Twitter whatsoever because, well, I don't know. Like I said the other day, I'm not messing with Twitter at all because you're trading against the richest man in the world. So, you know, I don't mind the short idea because it seems like he's trying to destroy Twitter. They seem to be in shambles right now since Elon started messing with them. That's what you can do when you're the richest guy in the world. You can just go mess with people. Hello, Namish. Did I say that right? I'm bad with names, so correct me if I'm wrong. But welcome to the Framework Fortune Home Channel, the live day trading stream here. If you have any questions, anything like that, comments, concerns, feel free to drop them in the chat. I did say it right. Man, I've been on point lately with names, guys. I'm impressed with myself. Normally I'm slaughtering names, but wow. Can't believe I got that right. Okay, so I'll talk about SQQ first, Namish, but if you don't know if a trade is good or not, then you shouldn't trade it, right? Now, I don't know how much research you've done on SQQ. Like I said, I'll do analysis on it, but I can't tell you whether it's a good trade or not. All I can do is analyze it and say, okay, this has good potential or this doesn't have good potential. But you need to know why you're buying and selling a stock or an asset. SQQ is a inverse ETF, I believe, of the QQQ. So I really don't even need to analyze it because all you got to do with the SQQ is have up the QQQ on the other screen because it's the inverse of QQQ. So if you're expecting the stock market to drop, then that inverse of the QQQ, yeah, that's right. Okay, make sure I'm not saying 5 Qs. But if you're expecting the stock market to drop, then the SQQ would be an option to go against the stock market without actually shorting. So that's why you would be looking at SQQ. Other than that, don't think there'd be any reason to look at it other than choppy market times like we're in, and I personally am very bearish on the stock market. So good morning, GD. Yeah, even short term, with SQQ. I mean, if you think the stock market's going to go down, then you know, SQQ goes up if the stock market goes down. I mean, it's not any more complicated than that. Like, yeah, I'll show you here. So, QQQ. SQQ. And you can see you have these both up on the screen beside each other. Stock market goes down, SQQQ goes up. So if you're going to trade this short term or whatever you're doing, this is the way you want to do it. You just have the QQQ over here, and if the QQQ shoots up, get the hell out of the SQQ, and if QQQ drops, then SQQ could move. But literally, even if you scroll all the way completely back out, they're literally going to be the exact reverse opposites. If I flip this chart upside down on the SQQ, it would look exactly like this. All right. But anyway, let's get back over to this trade so I don't lose my butt. Wow, I'm not in that many shares. I ain't going to lose my butt on that. There we go. We're still testing $5. Trying to hold that as support. Kind of fell in the hold at the moment. Good evening, Lori Lee. Yeah. Yeah. Elon is definitely the biggest troll in the world, and then Jordan Peterson is not even a troll. Jordan Peterson is just a psychologist who has gotten the raw end of the media stick because he disagrees with a lot of their nonsense narratives. So I don't even think Jordan Peterson's that political. He seems to think he's like, if you ever watched like when he first started really getting famous, he's like, what the hell is going on here? He was just trying to be a college professor, man. He wasn't out trying to mess with anybody or hurt anybody. So they've made him like public enemy number one, and the dude is just a smart professor. Anyway, no problem, Namish. Anytime. See, how's Veru looking? Veru's looking like garbage. Well, I won't say garbage, but you got a pretty strong downtrend on Veru. It was starting to look like it was going to try to make that U shape, but now with that little pop, just getting rejected there and running, probably going to drop to 10. All right, BFRI, you're still holding 5. This is pretty much a triangle, pretty much a wedge here. Looks like we're going to come back up, try to test that downtrend. The downtrend's now at 515, which really shouldn't be that big of a deal, but if it does get rejected here, that would be a little concerning. Give me just a second, guys. I'll be right back. So, as is tradition, I always have to walk away before a stock breaks out. The reason why I do this is because I'm in the bathroom puking like I'm Eminem, getting spaghetti on my sweater already. So, no, no, I'm just kidding. Don't. Can you just imagine a trader that nervous to trade? Like every time the stock's about to rip, they gotta go puke. All right. Anyway, I had a phone call, but normally I do always tend to get up coincidentally right before a stock starts moving up or ripping. So, uh, let's see. You need me not to die? I'm okay. I'm not gonna die. I don't think. We are getting a little rejection still at 525. We did have a little wick that threw up there to 534, but you can see where we're getting this selling pressure. All right there at that 550 where it keeps pushing down. See if we can get up out of there. INDO holding 15. No more phone calls. Stop. I'm trying to trade here. I'm trying to do things important. Let's see. She probably could figure out necromancy. I wouldn't put it past my wife. What do you think about day trading crypto? Yes, all my lives are saved on the channel, and I do enjoy day trading crypto quite a bit. I love trading day trading cryptos because it's 24/7. There's no PDT rule. So if you got $100 in your account, you can trade with that $100 5,000 times in one single day if you want to, right? So the fact you can continuously make trades all day. Now, of course, you don't want to be over trading and rage trading, but you can consistently hit scalps all day off of tons of different cryptos. Like the volatility in the crypto market, depending on your account size, there's something for everybody. Shiba starts getting bouncy and jumping around. Shiba's so cheap, one little bounce, you can make a quick little profit off of that. You go up into the $1, $2 cryptos. There's some with very low supplies. Gods Unchained, IMX, both two major cryptos. Well, I won't say major yet, but more than likely going to be P2E gaming, NFT plays. I cover those very, very heavily on the crypto channel. I'm very, very bullish into Gods Unchained and IMX because it's a play to earn game. So on that crypto channel, not only do I trade cryptos, I also show how to mine certain cryptos like PKT Cash, which is a bandwidth miner, and all kinds of other stuff. So I love cryptos just as much as I do stocks, gold, anything else. I trade it all. I have no problems trading anything, because the thing is, if it can be charted, it can be traded, and the technical analysis is going to be the same. You're going to have triangles, you're going to have channels, you're going to have buying and selling volume. It's no different. Yeah, you can chart corn. They chart soybean and corn in the futures. So you can easily read the chart same way with cryptos. But yeah, go check out the crypto channel. That's where I do a lot of the crypto content. I don't do so much on this channel anymore because this channel's gotten too big and people want stock stuff over here. So go join the crypto channel and join frameworkfortune.com. We have a full-on website where we have all types of resources. So including I have a couple of reviews up there on centralized crypto brokers that I've used, like Coinbase, Voyager, I'll be doing one on crypto.com soon, which crypto.com is starting to grow on me a little bit. It's starting to grow on me. We'll see how that continues. Oh, speaking of crypto.com, and we'll get back off of cryptos and back onto the stock market here. If you have Netflix, the crypto.com Visa card, if you use it to pay for your Netflix, they will refund you 100% back every month in Crow token, the crypto.com token, the currency. So if you set up your Netflix payment through the crypto.com card, which let me see, I got mine somewheres around here. Maybe I don't. I don't know if my wallet's in here. Nope, it's not in here. But if you're paying $15, $25 a month for Netflix, set it up to where it pays on crypto.com. Throw $25 in there for USDC or something like that, and that's going to cycle and continue to pay your Netflix every month. So there's a lot of things like that. I like free money. I don't care what anybody says. If people's giving out free money, I'm taking it. INDO still holding above that 15 mark, pretty strong. Slowly creeping up. Let's see. Let me actually read this PR because we're having a lot of time struggling here, running right into that downtrend. Oh, they approved a facility in Germany as a contract laboratory for batch control and stability testing of amylase. It's a prescription gel for treatment of so a skin thing. Has exclusive rights to market and sell amylase in the U.S. under license supply agreement. Because it's a skin thing, I don't know. It may not be that big a deal for FDA approval. I mean, I don't, what that said, spots. It's not like it's trying to cure cancer. It's just trying to cure skin spots. Due to whatever that word was, actinesis, something, kaleidoscope, actinesis kaleidoscope. So some of our support is getting pecked at right now at 5. Need to get off of $5 here. If we get rejected and crack 5, we're going to come back down to the bottom here at 467. We got, look at the 5 minute just to see. If you drew a uptrend off of this, it's already cracked. Oh, and one more thing about the cryptos. If you want to trade the higher price cryptos, $20, $30, $50 range, some of those will usually move $1, $2, $3 in a day. So those are also, if you got a little bit more weight to throw at the cryptos, a little bit bigger count size, you can always trade those mid-range price ones. A lot of those have very low supplies as well. Farm is one. It's around $100 right now. It's one that I keep on watch all the time because the supply I think is like 300,000. So usually when it gets volume, Farm will run like $100. It'll go from like 100 to 150 in a day, and then the next day have another jump up. So now it doesn't do that all the time. It's been pretty quiet lately, but all the markets are a little bit quiet. It does look like we have the NQ rebounding. Gold, gold, gold. So close. So close. Wait, is that a high on the year? Let me see the... no. I was going to say, I thought we ran over 2,000 towards the beginning of March. Alright, so just like the high of the week. That's all that is. I'm going to go ahead and remove this line. So we're just sliding right down this downtrend. What'd you do in life? So we've had pretty consistent volume too. Most of these candles around 1 million. Just need a big, big buying volume push to come in, like 2-3 million in volume to the. Let's see, how's the NQ actually looking? So NQ bouncing off 14,000, trying to hold 14,000 as support, but but we're in a downtrend, short-term downtrend inside of the overall downtrend. So that's kind of nasty if that doesn't break back over 14.2 today. We're going down lower on the NASDAQ. BFRI cracking below 5 for a second. Yeah, there comes a pullback down. So we want to see probably 475 hold. I mean, if 485 can hold where it's trying to, that's fine, but worst case, 475. Yeah, right, getting balled up, pushed right back over 490, so that's a good sign. Let me go back into the 15-minute. I don't want to watch this 5 minutes so close right now. It's going to drive me nuts. All right. Don't be a fox, be a hedgehog. That's it's a new saying. I don't know. Heard of anybody wanting to be a hedgehog. I usually like to be a peacock. You gotta let me fly, Captain. I'm a peacock. Oh, HYMC starting to pop up a little bit now that gold's starting to get close to that 2,000 range. I'm a beautiful peacock. That's right. You gotta let me fly. You're a trash rat, one line. Trash panda. Let's see. We got 5 minutes left for this candle to continue to hold. 485. starting to look a little weak. So now we're trying to hold 480 as support. Alright, we'll just sit here and hang out with this thing for a minute. Oh, let me get my share size ready to sell in case it does start cracking here. So, I want to talk about today, and we won't get into it right this second, but I want to talk about how inflation is now higher again. It just went up to 8.5%. This is what I was saying during all that Fed nonsense. They've said they're going to raise interest rates by a quarter point and then another quarter point. It's not enough. Inflation is already too high. So they did their interest raises and inflation just went up higher. They cannot put this back in the box. Once your drunk Uncle Cletus comes out of the mobile home trailer, you can't get him back in. You know what I mean? If anybody's from the South, you got that one drunk uncle who lives in the mobile park. Once he gets outside and he starts drinking and starts talking to everybody, he ain't going back in. Well, that drunk uncle right now is inflation. And Jerome Powell, his grandma at the door with a rolling pin and curlers in her hair. Get back in here, boy. I'm gonna sit you in timeout for 5 minutes. Get on in here now. Get on now. Of course, the drunk uncle's like, I'll be there later. I'm talking to old Phyllis. Inflation ain't trying to hear or do anything that Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve, wants it to do. It's already out the door. Multiple mini bottles downed. Probably a little bit of meth smoked. That inflation is wild right now. So it's the best way I can best way I can metaphor it. I think that was good. But it's only getting worse. This is what I've been talking about for 2 years straight, and we're just getting deeper and deeper in. We started out with, inflation's not going to get that bad. Now I'm saying inflation's going to get bad. Inflation, is up to 3-4%. It's not a big deal. No, it's a big deal. You got to do something now. Oh, no, inflation's not going to go any higher. It's transitory. Nope, it's not transitory. It's not going anywhere. I've called this all the way, every single step, because it is not that hard to call. When you are constantly spending money that you don't have, let me rephrase that. When you are constantly making up money out of thin air and adding the currency to the currency supply, I shouldn't say money, but currency, then that is the definition of inflation. So you continue to do that when you're literally inflating the currency supply for 40 plus years since they took the dollar completely from the gold standard and made it a fiat currency. This is going to keep going up. All of our policymakers right now still think Keynesian economics is the way to go, and Keynesian economics is what got us in the position where we're at in the first place, because regular Austrian and classical economics do not talk about having currencies backed by nothing. You want currencies backed by actual value, not the government's word. So when you understand all that, it's pretty simple to see, okay, y'all are still printing money, y'all are still spending money, inflation is going to keep going up. And, They've come up with every single story since inflation started rising. It's COVID's fault, Russia's fault, you know, whoever else's fault. There's been so much blame pointed around the whole globe. The person's fault for inflation is Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve. Period. They inflated it. They inflated the currency supply. They inflated the stock market. They told us they were inflating it with all the QE. What goes up must come down, and the laws of the natural law of supply and demand will always win out in the end of the day. So no matter how much they mess around, all they're going to do is continue to make things worse. Because why we're seeing all of this economic uncertainty is the natural law of supply and demand trying to balance out all the human interference from the markets. Because that's all we've had is nothing but human interference. And if you didn't see the live stream the other day where I was talking about Chinese nickel tycoon Xing and JP Morgan Chase and the London Metals Exchange and how they just pulled one of the biggest hoodoos, one of the most scammiest, scummiest things that was not on mainstream news. Huge, crazy story. I'll be posting that today out of the live stream, so if you haven't seen it yet, you'll be able to just catch that story and find out about it. So that was a perfect example of somebody who thought they were bigger than the laws of supply and demand because the Xing guy owns 25% of the world's nickel production or whatever. His ego got the best of him. He thought he could short the futures and hold nickel down, and now he's getting a supersized billion-dollar whacking from his ego against the whole market and stuff. So that's just how it is, man. You mess with supply and demand, you mess with the natural laws of nature, they're gonna get you. You don't gotta believe me on any of that, but you'll see it. It'll happen. Gotta respect the laws of nature. If not, they're gonna get you. Without Keynesian economic theory, we'll never have economic booms. Oh boy, no, you're insane. If Daniel B, if you're going to defend Keynesian economics, just go sit down a day. All right, we're dropping down on this 475. Keynesian economics, is responsible for a boom in the stock market of artificially inflating the prices. You're right. And Keynesian economics are going to be the same reason the stock market crashes. The whole entire, there's not been any classical economic policies done in the United States in I don't know how long. All the policies are all Keynesian economics. That's why we're $30 trillion in debt and have high inflation. Keynesian economic policies ignore nature, laws of nature. And so, their biggest thing is investing back into the economy, right? You put money in the economy, then it could push it up. Consumers got money, they can buy more things. That's good for the economy, right? Would be, except for in the U.S., all our consumer products, the stuff that consumers buy, is made in China and other countries. So all of our money flows out of the country. It flows out of the economy. And then we get a bunch of products and junk. So, it, like Keynesian economics is the reason we are in the situation we are. Ignoring it's, for one, pretty much started kind of with Karl Marx, who was not an economist. Just because he has a picture of his face in Wikipedia and it says economist beside it does not make him an economist. He was not an economist back then. He didn't know what he was talking about. He still doesn't. Like, the fact that his work continues to be spread is unbelievable, because the answer, Keynesian economics answer to fixing broken economic systems, is to give more power to the centralized governments. Our problem is we have too much centralization with our government. So Keynesian economics is not going to focus on the ladder of decentralization. It's only going to give governments more power, central banks more power to do stupid stuff like they're doing. So it's garbage. It's trash. The results of our economy right now are directly because of Keynesian economic policies. The Federal Reserve being in existence is a Keynesian economic idea. You know, classical economics, you don't have a central bank. Why would you want a central bank? Like, you're looking for decentralization. That's why cryptocurrencies that are decentralized have such a big following. So, I don't need a debate about it, because like I said, all the proof is in the pudding. We were seeing record high inflation, shortage on products, everything else. So if this is what your Keynesian economics looks like, I don't want no part of it. So we're barely holding here, but still in the triangle. Let's see if it'll get a pop out of here and start moving back up. But let's slide down that trend line. There we go. It's starting to get a little bit of push back up. Let's see if it gets back over 490 here. Oh, you're preaching about cycles now. Look at you, Daniel B. I'm glad to see you talking about cycles for once. But yes, you are right. As far as it being cycles. The fact it took Marx 20 years to write a book about economics tells me everything I need to know. I don't need to read the book. Like, economics is not that complicated. I've studied and learned everything I can about economics in the last 3 years, and spending 20. I want you to think about that for a second. Let's actually break that down. This is great. I'm gonna clip this from the video because this will be great for all those Marx economists out there. I'm glad you dropped that fact. That's a good fact, Daniel B. So, Economies are just money moving in and out. Simple as that. Is money moving in or out? If it's money moving in and out, just like your bank account or anything else, we got a whole 475. It's getting close to cracking. Hold on just a second. I'll continue to explain what I was explaining. Just want to make sure that 475 is going to hold. I'm thinking about putting a stop loss in here somewhere. Let's just put it on at 446 for now while I'm talking about this. Oh, actually, let's go a little bit lower. Let's go 439. Okay, so if the economy is moving money in and out, right? Understanding economics is basically understanding finances, which is the same thing, money moving in and out. If you are an entrepreneur, you know that time is money. If he had any idea about economics, he would have understood velocity of money, and he would have understood time is money. And he spent 20 years writing a book that he did not get to live off of the profits of. I am not listening to somebody who is that stupid. You spend 20 years of your life writing a book that did not make you any profit while you were alive. No. I don't care what people say, you're an idiot. 20 years, 20 years, 20 years, third of your life gone with no profits for a book? Nah, bro. Nah. I ain't got time to listen to a word that comes out of a broke a-hole's mouth like that. Screw Karl Marx and all the Marx economists. They're all a joke, and so is Marx. Nobody studies Marx. Only people who study Marx is people who just want to see what that crazy lunatic had to say. He was not an economist. He's an idiot. 20 years? Come on. You are going to tell everybody else how you were so smart about finances and the economics, but yet you were poor most of your life and took 20 years to write a book you didn't profit off until after you died. You're not an entrepreneur, so your perspective, his whole perspective was skewed by jealousy and idiocy because he was poor and didn't understand how anything worked. He was trash bag economist. Nothing, and like I said, he's not even a real economist. They just put that there. You didn't have to have a college degree back in the day to be anything, you know. It's like Plato was a philosopher. Was he a philosopher? To us today he was, but back then he might have been a lunatic that everybody thought was, you know, puffing the magic burning bush. And so back then, they, you know, it's very easy to get a title, but just because you get a title doesn't mean anything. And I know all of Marx's stuff, Daniel B. It's all the same. It's the same everything. Capitalism is bad, which he didn't understand what capitalism even was. Because capitalism did not really exist. Like, people think capitalism exists in the USA. It does not. The moment that we went off a value-backed currency, the dollar went off the gold standard. The moment in 1923 that Democrat President Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act, creating the Federal Reserve and the central bank, none of that is capitalism. That is not free market principles. That is complete centralization. That is socialism. So Marx's whole theory was based off the idea that everything was capitalism's fault, which was completely wrong because there was no capitalism. There's not been any. There's not been any true free markets. There's always been regulations. Somebody always cornering the market. Big governments cornering the markets. That's not capitalism. That's not capitalism when the governments are investing in the economy. Again, that's Keynesian economics and that's socialism. So it's just, all of it's trash. There's nothing you're going to learn from Marx, I promise you. I don't care how many times you read that book, Daniel B. Whatever you think you learned from that is not going to be accurate. The dude was a joke. That's why he's the joke today. People may read his stuff, but when you listen to most economists besides Richard Wolff, who just literally repeats everything that comes out of the Marx Bible, tell you why. Well, which reason do you want, Daniel B? Do you want the reason that the government told everybody in history? Is that the reason you want, or do you want the real reason they did it? Because the real reason they did it is to do what they've been doing for 100-something years. Suck the value right out from under all the U.S. citizens. You know, inflation has been going up, so has taxes. Since then. Look at 1923 to now, from after the Federal Reserve. Yeah, I know you're going to go, oh, it was cause of the blah, blah, blah. But no, it wasn't. The whole reason the Great Depression happened was because the Federal Reserve came in, interfered in the markets, and screwed it up worse. Like they've done every single time throughout history. Every single time. HYMC up to 213. Looks like we may drop here on BFRI. It's down to that support line. It slowed down the selling quite a bit. You can see it in the volume there. We don't have a ton of buying volume though. Yeah, but wages are not going up as fast as inflation. Like everybody who just got all these raises and stuff, 3%, 5%, well, they're still losing their money to inflation, and it's not any better. Like let's say 2 years ago you were making $15 an hour, and now you're making $20 an hour. Well, your purchasing power of the $20 an hour now with inflation at 8% is probably actually going to be less than the purchasing power of the $15 an hour you were making 2 years ago. Which also means that products will be cheaper in price along with everything else. So, let's see. I told you why. DB. Why, the reason why that Woodrow Wilson signed it. To continue, I mean, you can't just set up a consumer-driven economy out of nowhere. Right, an economy is supposed to be about give and take. Nice call, Lori, on ATR. This thing is starting to rip. But it's a little bit too high up for me at the moment. Oh, but it's running right into this 200 days, so I'd be very careful on the daily chart. Hitting very strong resistance there. And if it does break the 200, it's got a little bit room up to 828 possibly. But it's a little bit higher float, so I don't know if it ripped that hard or not. See BFRI back holding 475. Okay. So the reason, like I said, there's the government made historical reason why they did the Federal Reserve, and then there's the real reason why they did the Federal Reserve. If you're creating a consumer economy where your economy runs completely off of consumers, not off of production and consumers, you don't have the balance, the give and take like you're supposed to naturally have, then those consumers need to be guided with their spending patterns. So by decoupling the dollar from the standard and making it a fiat currency, the Federal Reserve has been able to control inflation steadily at 2%. Well, I won't say they've been able to, but they've tried to control it at 2% forever. But 2% inflation is still you losing purchasing power. And then they got everybody on savings accounts. Savings accounts, 1.5% interest. And this is way back. This is way before any of the stuff going on now. 1.5% interest while inflation's at 2% interest. If you've been putting money in a savings account the last 40 years, 50 years, let me rephrase that, not money, cash, US dollar in a savings account, you have been losing your purchasing power even though it's in a savings account. So the idea is to keep everybody in the hamster wheel, keep them working. If you continually sneakily suck the money out of them with inflation and then tax on top of that, your consumer major population is not going to be able to entrepreneurialize anything because they're not going to have any money. They're not going to have any real value. Instead, they will go over leveraged. They will get more credit because they need to buy more things. They don't realize that they are not able to buy more things because of the inflation. So they load up on credit. Now we are the most debtor nation in the entire world. Our whole population is in more debt. Average U.S. citizen debt is like 200 to 300,000. You're stuck in the hamster wheel now. So as a consumer, you have to continue to work, continue to give your time away for the 40-hour work week with the $10 paycheck, $10 hour, $15 hour, whatever it was or is, then you are going to be stuck. You'll never get out of being a worker the rest of your life, and you will continue to be a consumer. So there you have a consumer economy that is set up where the government in control can get richer and richer. And since the Federal Reserve was installed in 1923, the U.S. went from a producer economy where we had the boom where we were selling, exporting all types of goods, to where we have turned into complete consumer economy without even creating our own products. That's why I've been saying the last 2 years that this was all going to come to a head and we were going to see high inflation and all types of economic problems, because again, the money is going to go out of the economy into a different country if you're buying all your products from there. So that is the real reason. You can debate with me what the reason is that they told everybody, but the real reason is what's the word? It's what's the word I'm looking for? There's a term for it. It's like artificial. It's not, the word's not artificial something, but it's basically, I can't remember what the word is right off my head. No, Daniel B. It's not a. yes, producers do need consumers, but again, the U.S. economic cycle is not the same as the Chinese economic cycle. For one, it's two different currencies, the U.S. dollar and the digital yuan. So when you have two different economies and the consumers are all over here and they're buying from this economy over here, then there's no money coming back in to the consumer economy anymore. The whole economy was based off of consumers buying the products from within the country they are made. That is the cycle. Once you take the money out of the U.S. economy, it's leaving the cycle and going into the Chinese economy cycle. That's the problem. So you're right about the cycles, but producers and consumers are not in the same cycle. That is an issue. If it was we had plenty of manufacturing and production here in the United States and we were buying our own products, then you have a perfect economical money cycle. That is perfectly fine. What we have now is not a cycle. The cycle that we're currently in is centralization back to decentralization, because we've went full on maxed out crazy centralization, and decentralized technology is right here in our hands. So that cycle's about to start back over. Okay, so Daniel B., I'm not going to have a debate whether America, a country that's been around for 200 years or 400 years, whatever, versus China, who's been around literally thousands of years. They have way more economic historical data than we do. Way more. Thousands and thousands of years of multiple empires, multiple economies. So I don't know why you would even want to compare U.S.'s economic model to the Chinese economic model. China's not capitalist. I hear a lot of people say that their system is partly capitalist. It's not. They literally have, a dictatorship. They are communists. They call themselves the Communist Party. Communism and free market do not go together. Communism and capitalism do not go together. There is nothing free market or free about China. Ask Taiwan. Ask Singapore. Tell them, Lori. Talk to them, Lori. You're from Thailand, or you live in Thailand. Talk to them. I read what you wrote. You said modern economy, but still, One Life, you're in denial about the health of the U.S. economy. We may have some manufacturing, but I guarantee you can't walk around your house and turn over 10 products and 2 of them be made from America. You walk through your house and flip over 10 products, especially in electronics, they're made out of this country. I guarantee it. So, yes, there are still some manufacturers in America, but as far as a whole economy cycle of needing producers and consumers, the balance is thrown way off the scales. If it wasn't, then why would there be shortages? Right. I see what you're saying, DB, about the modern, what you're trying to say, but again, part of your statement said that China's modern economy is capitalist, and that's wrong. So that's why I had to correct that. And then, if you want to make the comparison, China's digital yuan is just about to take world reserve currency status from the U.S. dollar. So And also, to your point, the U.S. economy, well, no, 140-year-old model. Let's think about that. Yeah, since the Federal Reserve, yeah, that's about right. You're right on that modern economy. But as far as But okay, so as far as we are getting back up, we did just break the downtrend, starting to push back over five. If we can get this re-break of five, we should, it's kind of a double bottom. We should see it start to move again. But if we get rejected at five, then we're going to sell off. So we'll see if this can pop. What was I saying though? When is what are you talking about? One life. What is what happening? What are you asking me is happening? See ATER after that rip pulling back, but this does have, same little channel as we've been, or at least I've been playing the last couple of weeks, these little sloping channels. It's right there on the bottom, so if it can re-break 6 and hold 6 as support, it could try to push again. Okay. So, but like I said, if you really can't even try to, it's almost impossible to compare economies. There's too many different factors. Like the U.S.'s resources versus the Chinese resources is going to be different. They have different land masses. So there's geopolitical is what it's normally called, but I like it to think of it more as geoeconomical differences, because the land itself is going to have a factor in your economy. Um, the currency is different. Two totally different currencies with different value backing them and different functions. Uh, Two different manufacturer and consumer cycles. Like I said, they're buying their own products and selling the rest of the world their products, especially the U.S. And that goes back to everybody being in debt. We are super levered, super in debt because we've been buying all these crappy products from China. I guarantee China makes some great products. I know they do because I've bought some off Amazon. But the stuff they send us is junk because they know that our currency is junk. So, like, it's hard to compare the two side by side if you want to get deep into it. But on a simple level, the U.S. economy is a fake economy. It's been a fake economy. The Chinese economy was a fake economy for a while. They were doing this ton of money printing as well and doing a lot of stuff. So theirs was definitely inflated and artificial, but they were able to basically sell the whole world all their garbage products in exchange for the rest of the world's currencies, which, of course, when you're a lower valued currency and your products are being bought by higher value currencies from other countries, well, then your economic growth is going to grow. So, I mean, it's a very interesting conversation if you like economics, to compare kind of New Age China to the last 140 years of United States. There's a lot of nuances, and I could definitely see that being an interesting and fun debate. But bottom line is, inflation's only going to get worse. That's the bottom line. No, you can't take one statement for me and try to flip it on me as a Marxist, Daniel B. That was a good try. Nice attempt. So, the difference is Marx might have said they're virtual economies, but Marx's answer to the problem was more centralization. They're virtual economies in the first place because of centralization. Now, if you agree that these are artificial virtual economies, Daniel B., then you should not have any problems with cryptos. So you're not staying consistent with um, your own narratives, bud. You know, if you're going to try to say, oh, everything's digital economies, but then you sit there and say cryptos are tulips when literally cryptos are digital economies, you know, it's a nice try to catch me up, man. I'll give you credit for trying, but you get about a C minus for that try. But here's the problem with it. Marx wants more centralization. He wants more regulations. He wants more of the same stuff that cause all the problems, the same things that has been happening. That's why Marx was an idiot. It's not hard to look at economy and say, okay, that's been artificially manipulated, right? I mean, he's not a genius because he noticed that. He's not the only person who noticed that. Plenty of people have noticed that. Again, the dude took 20 years to write a book that he did not profit off of while he was alive. Not going to listen to what he's got to say. Okay, you were just kidding? Okay, DB. I'm glad you were joking. Because I really, really don't want to have to get frisky and roast you on trying to catch me up with a one liner and say I'm a Marxist. I eat Marxists alive all the time. I get a nice little bowl, a little bowl with little flowers on it. It's beautiful. And I get my spoon, a little bit of milk, pour my box of Marxist circles or Marxist O's, fruit Marxist loops, Captain Marxist Crunch, Marxist charms, all that stuff. Put them in a bowl, pour my milk in there, and I go to town and have a little breakfast. Oh boy, HYMC, what happened here? Okay, there was a trade ideas tweet. HYMC could easily be at $20. I actually said that a couple of weeks ago. Price of gold and silver reflect an inflation hedge. Been saying that for a while. Gold and silver, gold and silver. But yeah, okay. Now everybody's on board. So getting a little bit of action. This is why I wanted to get in this play and been holding it because I knew this was going to be a wild play with the AMC ape hype behind it. But then this is also a gold stock that Eric Sprott Metals, I think it's Sprott Metals, got into. So I have no problems holding this thing. Let's see where we at on BFRI. So we got rejected at 5 again. I'm gonna take your money so I can have indoor plumbing. Yeah, man, you know, I come from the South, man. We ain't got indoor plumbing down there. You gotta take your Michigan Yankee money. Actually, we probably should have this conversation at all because comparing water in the South and Flint, Michigan, I don't know. Flint got it pretty bad. I think it may be worse than a lot of the water in the South. And this is actually the honest truth. A lot of the water in the South they put chemicals in, and that's why you see so many people with their teeth rotting out and stuff. I mean, of course, there's a lot of meth heads and crackheads and all that, but you'll see everyday hardworking people that take care of their teeth. Like me, I try to take care of my teeth my whole life, and no matter what I've done, uh, I used to drink straight out of the tap as a kid, and those chemicals just ruin things. But it's not as bad as Flint. I mean, I don't even know what water Flint is got. I don't think that's water. That's like, I don't know, 50 times worse. I mean, I don't even know what water Flint is got. I don't even think that's water. That's like, 50 times worse. I mean, I don't even know what water Flint is got. I don't even think that's water. That's like, 50 times worse. I mean, I don't even know what water Flint is got. I don't even think that's water. That's like, 50 times worse. I mean, I don't even know what water Flint is got. I don't even think that's water. That's like, 50 times worse. I mean, I don't even know what water Flint is got. I don't even think that's water. That's like, 50 times worse. I mean, I don't even know what water Flint is got. I don't even think that's water. That's like, 50 times worse. I mean, I don't even know what water Flint is got. I don't even think that's water. That's like, 50 times worse. I mean, I don't even know what water Flint is got. I don't even think that's water. That's like, 50 times worse. I mean, I don't even know what water Flint is got. I don't even think that's water. That's like, 50 times worse. I I don't even know. I don't even know what to call that. Mark's died with 100 British pounds in debt. Thank you for that, Daniel B. Thank you for that. Oh, man. I love that. That's great, bud. That is a great fact. That makes it even better. That makes it completely better that he died in $100,000 in debt. So, yeah, if you want to listen to an economist who was $100,000 in debt when he died and didn't have any money, and, took 20 years to write a book about how money flows in and out. Yeah, go ahead and follow that. Yikes. Yikes. All right, whoa, we're past time of the stream. I got to get going here, guys. I'm going to continue to hold BFRI as long as it stays above 450. Realistically, though, if it doesn't break out here soon, I'm probably going to get out. Probably going to look at moving my stop loss up. But still hard to tell. We're just going sideways, We're still consolidating till this 450 bottom support cracks. This thing still could try to jump. But just remember, there's this gap from 450, if it cracks 450, all the way down to 390. So if it does crack, it's going to crack hard. That's why I've got my stop loss in there with a little space, just in case it all of a sudden decides to dump. Let's go over HYMC still ripping. Let's go, HYMC. Go ahead and make my day. I've been waiting on you. I've been patiently holding you since Friday. Yeah, I started swinging HYMC on Friday. Look at this beautiful U-shape on this 15-minute. Oh my goodness. I love that. Now, I specifically remember somebody in Hal's chat last week when I was over in HH Traders chat, and I was talking about gold and silver, them telling me that they did not want anything to do with gold and silver, that they were leagues ahead of me and they were a UFO. Well, now that gold is breaking out, it's close to that 2,000 mark, and we're seeing gold and precious metal stocks all up. I gotta agree with him. He was a UFO. He definitely is a UFO because he's from another planet. All right. Anyway, guys, appreciate everybody joining me as always. We'll be back here in a little bit on the crypto channel for a crypto update. I don't know if I'll do it live today or not, though. I've got a lot of content to edit today. Got several videos I want to get out. I don't know. I'll let you know in the Discord. So if you're not part of the Discord yet and you don't know how to find it, go to frameworkfortune.com, sign up with your email, click the Discord tab, and then click join the Discord. That's all you got to do. And it's all free. Looks like HYMC may just keep running here. If HYMC starts getting all the attention and just starts really going crazy, then more than likely BFRI is going to sell off. So, I mean, HYMC is only up 11% right now, so it's not a huge move yet. It could easily hit this 225 area right here at this resistance and just slow back down again. However, if it keeps this momentum and gold breaks 2,000 or gets up to 2,000, HYMC could potentially run big. $20 was what I was thinking too, so I don't know how I feel about that article agreeing with me, but I don't think it'd be $20 in a day or anything like that. It'd probably be $20 over a couple weeks or something if it does get that high. It's going to mainly rely on gold breaking out here in the next day or two. Einstein wasn't good with money either. And Newton lost his fortune. Jesse Livermore lost their fortune. So $1.2 billion in 4 hours. Jeez. I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't know about all that. All right, anyway, guys, y'all have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. It helps with the channel. Enjoy the rest of your day. Till next time.
This is war with the enemy. Think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me. I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague